That night, as the hostel grew quiet, Ada nervously followed Kemi and her friends to the small window at the back of the building. Her heart was pounding as they climbed out into the night. "Relax, Ada," Kemi said. "You will love it." Ada tried to smile, but deep down, she felt uneasy. She had no idea that this small decision would lead her into big trouble. Beautiful students sneak out of school hostel for fun. In Queen's College, everyone knew Kemi, Amaka, and Bose. They were in SS too, and always found ways to bend the rules without getting caught. The school has strict rules. Students were not allowed to leave the hostel at night, talk to boys, or go to parties. But for Kemi and her friends, these rules were just boring stories. Kemi was the leader of the group. She was smart and confident, but used her cleverness to plan mischief. "Girls, life is too short to be stuck in the hostel every night," she would say. "Let's go out and have fun." Oh. Amaka loved excitement. She was always ready to follow Kemi's lead. "Kemi, what's the plan for tonight?" she asked one evening, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Bose was quieter than the other two, but she hated feeling left out. She didn't want to say no to her friends. "As long as we don't get caught," she whispered, "I'm in." Late at night, when the hostel was silent, the three of them would sneak out through a small window at the back of the building. They had discovered that the security guard often fell asleep by midnight. With Kemi leading the way, they would tiptoe past the hostel, giggling and whispering. They had a meeting point by the roadside, where some older boys waited with motorbikes. The boys were friendly, and often took them to small parties in town. At these parties, there was loud music, dancing, and drinks. The girls felt free and excited. "We are so smart," Kemi boasted one night. "The teachers don't even know what we're up to." Amaka and Bose laughed, agreeing with her. To them, it was all fun and games. They didn't think about the danger or the trouble they could get into. For Kemi's group, every night out was an adventure, and they loved it. But little did they know that their risky behavior would soon lead them into big trouble. In the same hostel as Kemi, Amaka, and Bose, there was a quiet girl named Ada. She was in SS1 and had just joined the school that term. Ada was a kind of student every teacher liked. She always followed the rules, stayed in class, and spent her evenings reading or writing letters to her parents. Her bunk was not far from Kemi and her friends, so she often heard their whispers and giggles late at night. One evening, as she was reading a book, Kemi walked up to her. "Ada, you're always reading. Don't you ever get tired?" Ada looked up and smiled politely. "I enjoy it. I want to do well in my exams." Kemi rolled her eyes. "Exams? Exams? Exams? Life is not all about books, you know. You need to have some fun." Amaka joined in laughing. "She's acting like a grandma." "Ada, you are too boring." Ada felt a little embarrassed but didn't reply. Every night after that, the girls would tease her. "Come with us," Kemi would say. "It's just for one night. You'll have fun." At first, Ada refused. "I don't want to get into trouble," she said firmly. But Kemi didn't stop. "Trouble? Who's getting into trouble? We've been doing this for months, and no one has ever caught us. Don't you trust me?" Amaka chimed in. "Just once, Ada. You can go back to your books tomorrow." For days, Ada resisted. But deep inside, she began to feel curious. What's so special about these night's outings? She wondered. One evening, Kemi came to her bunk with a big smile. "Tonight's the night, Ada. You are coming with us. No excuses." Ada hesitated. "I don't know." Kemi pulled her up from her bed. "Stop worrying. It will be fun. You will thank me later." Amaka and Bose cheered as Ada finally agreed. "Fine," she said softly, "but just this once." That night, as the hostel grew quiet, Ada nervously followed Kemi and her friends to the small window at the back of the building. Her heart was pounding, as they climbed out into the night. "Relax, Ada," Kemi said. "You will love it." Ada tried to smile, but deep down, she felt uneasy. She had no idea that this small decision would lead her into big trouble. The night was dark and quiet as Kemi, Amaka, Buse, and Ada sneaked out of the hostel. Ada's heart was racing. She had never done anything like this before. "What if we get caught?" she whispered. Kemi, leading the way, turned and smiled. "Relax, Ada. I told you. We've done this so many times. Just follow me." The girls crept through the bushes behind the hostel until they reached the main road. 3 boys were waiting there with motorbikes. "You girls are late," one of them joked. "Blame the new girl," Kemi said, pointing at Ada. Ada looked down, feeling shy and out of place. One of the boys, Tayo, smiled at her. "Don't worry. You will get used to it. Hop on." Before she could say no, Kemi pulled her onto the back of Tayo's bike. "Hold on tight," Tayo shouted, as the bikes roared to life and sped down to the road. Ada clung to him, feeling both scared and excited. After a short ride, they arrived at a small party in a house on the edge of town. The girls quickly changed their dresses at a corner. Loud music was playing, and people were dancing and laughing. Kemi and her friend jumped right into the fun, but Ada stayed near the door, unsure what to do. "Come on, Ada, dance a little," Amaka called out, pulling her to the middle of the room. Ada tried to smile and join in, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The room was crowded, and the air smelled of drinks she had never seen before. People were talking loudly, and she didn't understand most of what they were saying. Suddenly, the lights in the house turned on brightly, and the music stopped. "Police! Nobody move!" a loud voice shouted. Panic filled the room. People started running in all directions, but the police quickly blocked the exits. Ada froze, her heart pounding like a drum. The officers went around, taking everyone's ID. When they got to Ada and her friends, one officer frowned. "How old are you girls? What are you doing here at this time of night?" Kemi tried to explain, but the officer wasn't listening. "You are coming with us," he said firmly. The girls were taken to the police station. Ada felt tears streaming down her face. "Why did I come here?" she thought, wishing she had stayed in her bed. At the station, their school principal was called. She arrived looking very angry and disappointed. "What is the meaning of this?" she asked. "I warned all of you about sneaking out. And you, Ada, I expected better from you." Ada couldn't say a word. She felt ashamed and scared, realizing that she made a big mistake. The principal promised to deal with them when they returned to school. As they were taken back, Ada sat silently, tears in her eyes. She wished she could turn back and say no to Kemi and her friends. The next morning, news of what had happened spread all over Queen's College. Everyone was talking about how Kemi, Amaka, Buse, and Ada were caught at a party and taken to the police station. The principal called for a meeting in the assembly hall, and all the students gathered. "I'm very disappointed," the principal said in a stern voice. "Some of our students sneaked out of the hostel at night and brought shame to our school. This behavior will not be tolerated." The girls stood on the stage, their heads bowed in shame. Ada couldn't stop crying. She felt so embarrassed. She had always been a good girl, and ma'am, everyone saw her as a rule breaker. The principal continued, "Kemi, Amaka, and Buse, you have been doing this for a long time. Ama, you have dragged Ada into your bad behavior. You will all be suspended for 2 weeks." The hall was silent. Ada felt like the ground should open and swallow her. She thought about her parents and how they would react. When the girls were sent home, Ada's parents were heartbroken. Her mother sat her down and looked her in the eyes. "Ada, what happened to you? This is not the daughter I raised. I trusted you to make good choices." Ada burst into tears. "I'm so sorry, Mama. I didn't want to go, but they kept pressuring me. I thought you were just for one night. I didn't mean for this to happen." Her father shook his head. "Ada, you must learn that saying no to bad friends is important. Your future is too precious to waste on such things." The days at home were hard for Ada. She missed school and felt guilty of disappointing her parents. She spent her time reflecting on her actions and promised herself she would never follow bad company again. When the suspension ended, Ada returned to school. She avoided Kemi and her friends, who were still up to their old tricks. She spent her time reading, studying, and making friends with other girls who focus on their education. One day, Kemi came to her. Ada, we're sneaking out again tonight. Are you coming? Ada looked at her family. No, Kemi, I've learned my lessons. I'm not interested. Kemi rolled her eyes and walked away, but Ada didn't care. She felt proud of herself for standing up and making the right choice. From that day, Ada became a better student and a role model for other girls. She realized that it's important to choose friends wisely and that saying no to bad behavior is a sign of strength. As for Kemi, Amaka and Bose, they continued sneaking out until one day, they got into even bigger trouble. They were accused of stealing money in a club, and an angry crowd pursued them all the way to the school gate. They were expelled from the school. Ada was glad she had changed her ways before it was too late. Moral of the story: always choose your friends wisely. Bad company can lead you into trouble, but staying true to good values will help you succeed in life.